Hey everybody, sorry about the sun. Let's see what I can do to try to improve that. That is absolutely terrible. How's the fragrance life, everybody? Let's see if I can get this situated. Again with the horizon, it's absolutely terrible. I'm gonna be burning on the side of my face, but we'll make it work. Anyways, everybody, how was your week? How was your fragrance life going? Any new fragrances? Anything new you smelled that was really really fun? Anything fantastic? I For me, I didn't buy anything new, but I have been smelling a few new things. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Hey everybody, how we doing? How's the fragrance world? How's your fragrance life going? Waiting for people to pop in. Sorry about getting on here late. I do need to schedule these. I usually get on here about 6, but I got busy. I got distracted. I was watching Juicy Fuego's live a little bit too, and when other people are doing lives, I try not to interrupt. But this is kind of the time I always go. So, anyways, this week, interesting week. Was really busy trying to get a lot of things going in my life, trying to get rid of old videos on my YouTube channel. I've been doing a lot better, relaxing, trying to get that my mood really well. But funny enough, because I put out so much content, then I get worried about it not doing well. But things have been doing pretty well. Sorry about this light situation. I can't do much to improve it, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I've kind of came to a crossroads in my fragrance journey. It kind of we'll see if how long I was talking about this yesterday. We'll see how long I do reviewing for. How if I'm able to, in the future, with the plans I have, seeing if I have time to do this as regularly as I do it now. Because again, I've been putting out a video just about every day for almost a year now, and I've been putting out 2 videos a day on and off for a little while this week. I started that. And then I'm going to start getting to some more interesting content for y'all. Maybe some more niche that y'all are actually interested in. And, kind of stepping into some new fragrances and things that, y'all might be more interested in, like Joe Malone fragrances. What else I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember right now. Some imaginary authors, some zoologists. Those are some new samples and some things that I've been trying, and I'd be interested to know if y'all, want to hear about those or not. Mixin, is that how you say your name? Supserve, Versace the Dreamer, Blind by Worthy. I'm tempted. Just start collecting. Um, it could be. If you've smelled a number of tobacco fragrances that you like, it might be worth blind buying. I don't want to say it's polarizing or strange, but it does have a little bit of its own character, but it is pretty likable for the most part. It's certainly not a bad fragrance. A lot of people love it, but a lot of people dislike it. I don't want to discourage you. You might absolutely fall in love with it, and nothing is wrong with that whatsoever. But personally, for me, it doesn't work for me. But hey, it works for you. More power to you, my friend. So I think you have to have semi-sweet, almost aquatic feeling fragrances, and imagine a tobacco kind of vibe mixed in. So it's quite an interesting fragrance. It's I don't know of a lot of fragrances like it, and a lot of people absolutely adore it. So if you're just getting into fragrances, it could be perhaps a little bit daring or a little bit more of a different composition. It certainly isn't one of these Ambroxan Tonka heavy fragrances or these one of these blue shampoo fragrances. It's certainly not one of those. So I think it could be a good step in and especially if you like tobacco, it would be nice to get into for sure. And I feel like if people like the original Le Male by Jean Paul Gaultier and wanted something, I don't know, perhaps a little bit more unusual, something a little bit more creative. I kind of in a way would recommend Versace the Dreamer to them as well. I just don't talk about it too much. Uh, Again, because I don't know. For me, I'm not too crazy about it, and I don't know, but I do try to keep things up to date with what I've been sampling and with what I've been trying. But I do have to say that I do try to highlight amazing fragrances from the past, and I've done a lot of videos about them. So I try and I don't know. I'm trying to mention more of the things that I'm sampling and trying and exploring. So, But maybe I should review that one. I think I forget if I don't think I've done a full length review on that one yet. I hope you're well. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty well. Trying to get my life in order. Y'all know that career-wise and everything, it's been a struggle for a very long time. But hopefully, I can get my feet, stand on my own 2 feet and get into a good, better financial place. And maybe I'll be able to show y'all some more fragrances in the future, some things that y'all might be really excited about. I hope that I can certainly do that. Enjoy your lives. Hello, mate. Hey there, Rich. Happy to see you as well. I'm glad that you like my lives. They're near and dear from the heart. They're authentic. These certainly aren't scripted whatsoever. And I'm sitting out here with the horizon, with the sun beating on my face, and having a good fragrance conversation. I don't know how else I could, I guess, make this authentic. So I don't have a nice studio. Hopefully, maybe we'll get there one day, but we'll see. Let's see. But I'm happy that you like my lives, Rich. It means a lot. Again, the friendship we have here and the few people that are here, that's what this is all about. And we just get to chat a little bit about our fragrances. So, um, hey, Ben, scent of the days, Neroli Portofino. What are you wearing? I'm trying to remember, what was it this morning? um, what was it? I'm trying to remember. I did a post about it. I mean, I did my live. Oh yes, Oud from the House of Les Elixers, a newer house. It's I don't. It's been out. The company's been around for getting close to about a year, but they don't have a lot of notoriety. They're not overtly popular. I really like their Oud fragrance. It's more of an orange, citrus, leathery kind of fragrance more than anything. The Oud just adds a little bit of a sensuality. It's not animalic. It's not scary. It's not dark. It's not dank. It's very, very wearable. And I've been needing to put a full length review on that fragrance out, but Oud from Les Elixers to me gives Oud Wood by Tom Ford a run for its money, especially because it's like $180 for 100 mils, and it has great longevity. I don't want to spoil the review for you guys, but and I am a sucker for leather and orange, and it has both of those in the fragrance, and the spice is the right way I like it, and a little whisper of Oud, adding sensuality. It works for me. I don't know why, but it's a style and it's something that I like. So I'm happy. I hope that you like Neroli Portofino, and yeah, thanks for sharing, Dean. Hope that you're doing well. Hope that you like the fragrances that are on the mail, and I hope that there's no interruptions. I did enter your email, so you should be able to track the package. Hopefully, you got an email, so hopefully you should be able to track it. I always really get worried, with the border between countries, and sometimes they leave things kind of indirect about, you can ship perfumes, but if it smells bad or if they can smell it, they'll investigate it, or if they don't, if they think it's a hazard because it's, the alcohol, if they ever smell any of it, they might just decide to get rid of it. It's supposedly you're only supposed to ship flat rate shipping to Canada with perfumes, and it is allowed, and supposedly there's not supposed to be many problems. But if I ship directly from the USPS website, it only allows priority shipping mail. And if I ship from Pirate Ship, which I recently found, which is a great shipping website, I really like it. I'm going to be using it a lot more in the future. And a lot of people who sell decants and sell fragrances to each other, I actually would encourage y'all to spread the news and the word about Pirate Ship. I don't know if it's a new company particularly, but it's new to me. And it's very easy to use. It's very convenient. And the prices on that from Pirate Ship are pretty darn good. So let me see here. Let me catch up with the comments. Minks, don't spend lots of money on lots of cheap scents. Just have a large number of fragrances. That's really good advice. Some people have had a debate about this, and some people feel very passionate one way or the other. I do think that it's good to investigate and maybe buy some different styles of fragrances, and maybe get to try some different notes and different smells from some affordable fragrances, are often called cheapies. I think that is a good way to go. But I think that I do agree that there are fragrance reviewers, and again, everybody's different. Some people might not care about a little bit better quality or creativity, but once you get start understanding and you know what kind of fragrances you like, what styles you like, what notes you like, you can start actually buying higher quality fragrances. And nothing's wrong with having a good foundation of affordable fragrances. I'm not sure what kind of bird that is. It's it's on alert. Anyways, guys, yeah, I think affordable fragrances are great. You can get fantastic deals and save a lot of money, but a lot of people feel like they have to rush to get 100 fragrances or they won't have a legitimate collection. A lot of fragrance reviewers feel pressured because, they see people in the fragrance community have 500 fragrances plus, and sometimes some of these guys have 500 fragrances and none of them are designer. They're limited editions, really rare, very valuable fragrances that were, you'll they're not for sale anywhere. You can't find them anywhere, and they're very proud of that. And more power to them if they have really rare, expensive taste and have very exclusive things. But take your fragrance journey at your own pace. If you want to go for all the affordable fragrances, that's great. I would encourage you to get into some before. Of course, if you can, if you live in a bigger city, go to a boutique before you spend any money. Smell everything, see what you like and what you don't like, and get a few fragrances. And if you feel really scared about buying from the gray market, like Fragrance Net, Fragrance by CA, Notino, Fragrance X, or anything any place like that. If you're really, people would say save your money, and I do encourage y'all to save money. But I when I first started, I did buy a couple fragrances full retail, not very many. But when you first start, and maybe you're really worried about things being fakes, and maybe you're buying a popular fragrance that possibly could be faked, you might want to actually pay the retail, and a lot of people still pay retail. Of course, I'm a cheapskate and I like to save money, but and there's so many good fragrances that really aren't available anywhere else besides online in a warehouse. Things that are discontinued or no longer, being sold in stores. So that is good advice. I think so. Get it, sample a lot of things, smell a lot of things for free if you can. Maybe buy some samples of some interesting things. Get a few affordable fragrances to have a few good things. But then I would encourage you to start really honing in your collection and really having, you know, instead of having fragrance, looking and saying you have fragrances and that makes you feel good, almost like a hoarder. And again, more power to the people who collect fragrances. But have fragrances and own fragrances that truly move you. That's what my channel here is all about. Wear what you love, and when you reach for a fragrance, I want you to have a good experience. I want you to feel happy, and know that you're going to be in a good mood, and know that you're going to be smelling really, really good. For me, I can grow out of fragrances or really, really quickly, or there's some fragrances I know that I just don't love as much as other fragrances, and that's one reason I kind of end up selling a lot, especially in the past. I did, buy a lot of things and sell a lot of things, and that was a part of my journey. I don't know if I could have done it any other way besides maybe buying samples of everything, but sometimes the samples aren't available, and I don't know. Sometimes I ended up liking the things I blind bought, so I don't know. Samples can be seem a lot of money. You're paying a lot for the price per mil sometimes, but hey, what can you say? Sometimes you got to bite the bullet, as they used to say back in the day. So, let's see here. I haven't regretted any purchases so far, but hard to tell so early. Yeah, you'll probably buy something eventually that doesn't work, and you probably have to sell it. But we all do that from time to time. I recently bought a Mons from Vicanto, hoping that it would be a citrus fragrance that I really like. I have a hard time with citrus. It had some fresh cardamom. I was hoping that it would be what I wanted, and it ended up having a citronella-like vibe to it. It's not a listed note, but it has citronella, which I really don't like in citrus fragrances. And it's not as fresh or I don't know, as crisp as I wanted it to be. At least it didn't work for me. So I think it almost has a little bit of the Abercrombie and Finch fierce vibe, and I don't know, that kind of DNA's never worked for me. I know some people like it, but it doesn't work for me. So let's see here. Try Molinard, Meeks. Molinard is, I've heard really good things. I have my eye on a bottle of patchouli vanilla, or patchouli vanilla, and I think I might just have to get it. So let's see here. Uh, Thanks. Extensive answer on the Dreamer. Yes, I'm always happy to help, Minx. That's what I'm here for. I'm happy to help share what I know. And if any of y'all have questions about certain fragrances, if y'all want any advice, I haven't smelled everything in the world, but I try to, and I have smelled an awful lot. I'm here to help you, my friend, and give y'all advice, and y'all might even have advice for me. So, Dean asks, you spent any more time with the zoologist I sent? Yes, I have. I have been sampling and dabbling. Yeah, there's a lot of samples you sent me. I'm very grateful for that. And let me see. I haven't fallen in love with any of them, and I don't want to beat up on the House of Zoologists. I know a lot of people like the house, and I do sometimes like creative fragrances, but I don't know. Besides Camel, and I think that Hummingbird is very charming for the ladies. I think that Dragonfly is pretty nice. I don't know. I don't think I would buy it though. But I don't think that any of them are particularly disgusting from the ones I've smelled. I haven't smelled. Well, isn't there one called Hyrax? And I don't think I have a decant of Beaver. But none of them act like disgusted or offended me. But I'm not in love with any zoologist so far that I personally would want to buy. But I do recognize B is very, very well done. I think that B is certainly one of the. There's not too many honey fragrances on the market, but certainly is one of the best. And it's quite a good creation. I can see why it was very, very popular. I haven't tried Squid yet. Um, I don't like inky fragrances anyways, and I have a hard time with aquatic, so an inky aquatic does not sound up my alley, up my street, in my wheelhouse, as they say. But I will have to maybe give it a go one of these days. Mink says backyard seems very calming. I'm happy that you like my backyard here. Again, I do live in the south of the United States of America, as they say, and yes, it's I do like nature, and I try to review out here not only because I don't really have a studio, and sometimes if I work the lighting, if I record videos at the right time, my lighting can be a little better. But also, I do like to record outdoors because it helps me connect with nature. It helps me calm down, and I hope that that comes through with my videos. And I do try to connect fragrances to the notes. I know that some people don't like talking about the notes too much, and I don't try to focus on them too much, but I do like to describe the textures and the feelings and the colors and if it's wet or if it's dry and stuff like that because I've started over time to with my nose to really be able to tell with these notes all these details, and there's so much beauty in nature. There's so much around you. There's so many plants and flowers, and there's so much beauty. And fragrance ultimately, even if it's a synthetic fragrance, most synthetics come, from essential oils that are essentially they break it down into different molecules. Because one essential molecule can have hundreds of components, especially if it's something complex like vanilla. So they can break it down if they want to and have a specific chemical or aroma chemical that they want to use in a fragrance for a certain effect. And that's how they can create all these fantastic accords. And that's sometimes how you can see that, a brand might only tell you that there's three accords and one of them is orange, but you can tell that there's mint or something in it. It's because there's a certain aspect of a certain note that was maybe came from mint or something like that to help build that orange accord, and that's why there's so much versatility and variety and so much opportunity. I've heard there, in 1,000 years, will probably, there'll still be new things to smell because there's so much, there's technology that helps. There's so many plants and flowers and things that we don't produce commercially that could be smells, that could be in fragrances and the beauty of these things, there's so much, it's almost endless. And then maybe if we do go to other planets and all that in the future, the world of fragrance, there's so much. Let's see here. Hello, Indecents. Hey, happy to see you. Sent to the day I can't remember. Schism. I do that sometimes. Sometimes that reminds me. Some people intentionally don't tell other people what they're wearing because they don't want other people to copycat them. Have y'all ever done that? I've never really done that. I've never. I usually wear odd fragrances that most people think it's odd, and they probably wouldn't bother to go and order it blind buy it online anyways. And a lot of people around here, they don't want to buy anything, that's over $50 anyways. So if it's a $80 fragrance, especially if it's a niche fragrance, it's $100 plus. It's not something that they're usually interested in. So, but I do know ladies in particular. When ladies smell something they really like off another lady, they do tend to buy it. And sometimes that ladies won't tell other ladies what they're wearing because, you know, I have seen where everybody in a room wants to know what somebody's wearing, and a couple ladies will buy it, and then they don't feel like that fragrance is special for them anymore. I do like feeling special with my fragrances. So if I worked in a workplace and I had a coworker who was constantly wearing one of my favorite fragrances, it would bother me. I don't know if it'd bother you. I'm curious to see how y'all feel about that. So you got me on that train of thought. I've always wanted to kind of introduce that question. So well, maybe we can talk about that a little bit. Indecent says into the day Swiss Arabian Zahir al Shila. I think that's. I'm trying to say it right. I probably butchered it, but sounds nice. I haven't tried too many Swiss Arabian, but from what I hear pretty good things about Swiss Arabian, and I've been needing to try explore that house. I think I'm gonna explore Solstice fragrances next. They're an indie house of sorts, but they have some really good looking tobaccos and some gourmands, and I'm really interested in that house. And of course, I got a couple things I really want to buy for the colder weather. So that's kind of where I'm at. Again, I have explored a lot of the designers. I've smelled the majority of the designers that are out there, especially the popular ones and all these things. And with my collection, I am going to be showing probably a lot of decants in the future. Y'all probably know that. I've told y'all that. I don't have the finances, and even if I did, I don't want to blind buy or just purchase all these designer things if I don't personally love them. And there's a lot of good ones, but once you find, at least for me, I find I have so many things in my collection that I love, and they're probably not going to be replaced, or I'm not going to find anything better anytime soon. So I'm just I'm not going to need to buy anything, but more, everybody's different. Lots of people like to have a really trendy fragrance or modern or whatever. I like Cartier Roadster. I will be doing some reviews on those, and by golly, um, that mint, they're pretty darn good fragrances, guys. If and again, if y'all don't know, I've told y'all all those things like Creed being bought out, John Varvatos being going bankrupt. Mugler has been acquired as well. Creed really didn't sell out. They kind of did a merger of sorts with a big corporation. So I don't know how much autonomy or control they're going to have over their company, but it's definitely gonna, I want it. I wish them the best, but in my heart of hearts, I think that it's going to be more the company is going to be even more for profit. If you thought Creed was already greed, I have the suspicion that it's probably going to get worse. But I do hope that they become great. We'll see. We'll have to see if they do. Um, but Roadster is one of those great fragrances. I do want to mention it again. That it's a classic masculine, gentlemanly fragrance, and really, really high quality stuff for the money. If you look at the right places, and it's not always available, but there are small amounts of Cartier's Roadster that pops up for close to $40, $45, but the price is creeping up, to about 60 already. If you don't want the wait, if you can't find it at $40, you might have to, pay up for about $60 for it. But if you've always been interested in it, if you like gentlemanly classic perfumery and you like mint, and if you like vanilla, I still think that it's worth 60, but it's going to creep up in price. I don't think it's an uber popular fragrance. I don't think it's going to reach crazy prices, but it has the potential to do that. And when that kind of stuff happens, it's always crazy. Um, Another one I mentioned that is maybe I should just make another video about buy these sooner than later. I did a video like that, and it did very very well. It was a very popular video and an idea, and a couple fragrance reviewers all copied the idea. More power to them. A lot of YouTubers, take ideas from other people. I do wish that I would get credit, for me being creative. I don't take creative ideas from other YouTubers. I'm the one who thinks of my own ideas, and I have plenty of creativity myself. I don't take ideas from other people unless they want to tag me, and I think a tag is really fun or something. But anyways, let's get back to the comments. Let's see here. Scent of the day, I went old school. Hugo Boss #1. That's a nice one. I like the Hugo Boss bottled, if I can say it right, Hugo Boss bottled intense parfum. I think that's maybe their most modern one or one of their more modern ones, and I really like it. And it's enjoyable. I don't love the smell if I smell it really up close to my skin, but in the air it smells nice. And it's one of those fragrances that, I'm surprised at how much other people like it on me. People really, really like that fragrance on me, and I don't know why. I think it smells good. I don't think it smells that amazing, but it's more of a compliment getter than almost, one of my biggest ones. And I don't even focus on compliments, but Hugo Boss Bottled Intense works on my skin with my personality. I don't know what else to say. Let's see here. Molinard Figue, is that how you say it? It's a fig, I believe. Is very nice. I'll have to try it. Sounds really good. Molinard Figue. I'll have to give it a go. They're in the purple bottles, if I remember right. Cloud-based scent says scent of the day is Rich Mess. I haven't tried that one, but it does sound nice. Rich Mess. What does it smell like to you? Would you recommend it? But it is good to see you, cloud-based scents. They certainly have some creativity over there, don't they? Centurion says, "Hey all, hey Centurion, happy to see you." A gentleman, certainly. Centurion, a great fragrance reviewer. Really enjoy his content. Y'all know that, just about anybody who pops in here, I try to give them a good word. And I'm sure that y'all are familiar with these guys anyways. If you're familiar with me, you probably know Centurion or any of these people who pop in. And Centurion's here, and he'll actually add to the conversation. Again, I don't want to criticize other fragrance reviewers, but I was live this morning on Instagram, and maybe they were busy, maybe they were just listening to my conversation like a podcast. But when somebody pops in and they don't say hello, I mean even hello, and really try to get into the conversation, I don't know. It doesn't offend me, but sometimes I kind of rubs me the wrong way. But especially if it happens a couple times, I see that they're here, or if I see that they're there and they're listening, but they're not adding to the conversation. So I don't know. I do like. Anyways, I'm just trying to say that thank you all for having a conversation with me. It means a lot. And I think that we all benefit and we all learn from each other. There's plenty of things that they've smelled that they know, knowledge that they have that I don't have, and we all learn from each other. We all benefit from each other, so we can all certainly come together. Dean says Beaver is a leathery, powdery one. You might like it. I have a hard time with powdery scents, but we'll have to see if I like it. What are your thoughts on tobacco oud and tobacco vanille? I think I've tried tobacco oud, but it's been a little while. I do remember it being a little bit animalic or having a kind of a punchy top to the fragrance, if I'm remembering the right one. And the tobacco vanille by Tom Ford, it's a fine fragrance. I know a lot. There's a big following. There's like a cult following behind tobacco vanille. Um, I do think it's a fine fragrance. For me, it's never worked. To me, it feels like more of like a dry brown tobacco off the top, and then in the heart of the fragrance, what kind of is trying to wrap its arms around the fragrance and hug the fragrance and keep it together is a lot of clove. and I have a very hard time with clove. I often find it very aggressive, and that clove note really does bother me. And it's really the vibrating, energetic, pulsating beat. It gives the fragrance almost like a heart. And maybe some people really like clove, but I don't hear a lot of people complain about it being too spicy. I've seen people complain that Sauvage EDT is too spicy, and a number of other fragrances that it's too spicy. Um, but I haven't found too spicy at all. But maybe they don't know that it's clove. I really don't know. Anyways, I feel like the vanilla is good quality, and it does have a little bit of that dark, seductive, mysterious Tom Ford DNA. But I don't know. It's a fine fragrance. It's just not for me, and I respect it. It's a good creation. I don't know if y'all remember, but I spoke about a house called Posey. It's an indie brand, and they have a fragrance called Whisper Your Bitter Things. And I think it has some similarities. It's not intended to be a clone. This is a very creative house with their own creations, and it was not intended to be a clone, but I feel like it has some similarities, and I actually much prefer it. I feel like it's more complex, I feel like it's more wearable, and I actually really like how that fragrance feels. And again, that one's called Whisper Your Bitter Things. Um, from the House of Posey is an indie house, and you have to get it in a roll-on if you're interested. They don't have sprays. I've talked to them about having sprays. They, shipping wise, and maybe with what they do want to do with their company, they like roll-ons. I kind of actually prefer, having some roll-ons like that in my collection. It really gives the almost adds to the fragrance's longevity because it's in an oil form and it doesn't project as much, and I kind of like that in a way. I like how that oils kind of act with my skin. So see here, but hopefully that answers your question, Dean. I tried. So Centurion says Scent of the Night is Tom Ford Noir de Noir. Nice fragrance. I need to give that one another chance. I smelled the opening of it, the regular Noir and the Noir de Noir. Had a little bit of animalic touch on the top. And at the time, I hadn't really smelled anything with animalics, and it kind of scared me away. But I'm sure that it dries down and adds to the sensuality of the fragrance. But it's funny enough that the Noir Extreme is actually in my opinion, the easiest to wear and the most mass appealing out of all three: the Tom Ford Noir, the Noir de Noir, and the Noir Extreme. Out of all three, the Noir, you think that the Extreme would be extreme. You think the Extreme would be the most intense, the scariest, the boldest, the biggest out of the bunch. It's actually a little bit more subtle, in my opinion, and certainly is a lot more date appropriate and perhaps modern smelling for maybe younger, trendier kind of people. But no doubt about it, Noir de Noir can be very sensual as well. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I do think that's funny, and I haven't heard anybody say that openly, but so I do want to help people. Uh, always get your nose and try all these fragrances, but I do find that very funny that the extreme version is the most mass appealing, easiest, date appropriate version, at least in my opinion. So, Cartier Roadster is something else. Cartier Roadster is an excellent fragrance, guys. I do think a lot of gentlemen, or maybe if you like the fougères, maybe if you like the barbershop scents, I think that a lot of people have missed out on Roadster. I think it has flown under the radar, and I do think that it's discontinued. Sadly, it's a great composition. It's a great fragrance, and I think that a lot of people will speak highly of it for years to come. But just not a lot of people will ever know about it. Just like Victor and Rolf Antidote, very few people ever knew about or seemed to talk about Victor and Rolf Antidote, and it was one of the most creative, bold, interesting, and for a designer fragrance, one of the most complex fragrances I've ever seen. It has, I forget how many notes. It must have like 30 notes or more. It's very and it's also very well done, and for being more of something that leans on the side of being kind of slightly green, slightly fougere like fragrance. It actually was a lot more likable and approachable than I ever expected. It was very well composed, and it had a great smell to it. So sometimes these things happen. They just happen, guys. The world is not always fair. Y'all know this. It's funny. Got it for my 22nd birthday and wore it clubbing, and man, I had a great night. Really, uh, Cartier Roadster clubbing at 22. Are you an old soul like me, or do you feel like the fragrance feels modern? I feel like it's modern enough that it doesn't feel old. There are a lot of people who would say that Cartier Roadster perhaps leans vintage. I feel like it still feels like a modern fragrance. If I still feel like Platinum Eagle Whisk still has a little bit of its charm. I feel like it has that classic feel. Eau Sauvage perhaps does feel a little bit dated to some, but I still feel like it stands up to the as a classic. I still feel like it has a great smell that a lot of people here in today will still really enjoy. So fascinating that you went to the club with it and you got good reactions. That's really fun. That's really awesome, and I really like it. And you did wear something different too. Mint is clean. It's very clean. If you were at a club and maybe it was dirty or sweaty or something, maybe it helped pierce through a little bit of that dirtiness. And I've mentioned that as kind of like a strategy y'all can do. You can wear something maybe neroli heavy, and if you want to smell clean and or maybe and like stand out compared to a lot of the really sweet, rich fragrances like the Paco Rabanne's 1 million that some people might be wearing. So if that's your kind of thing, it might be fun to just try that one night and see if it works, see what kind of reactions you can get. And again, I'm sorry for that background noise. If you don't know what that is, that's cicadas or cicadias. And if you're not familiar with the South, or some places in the world have an awful lot of them, some people call them bullet bugs, and they're very, very loud. So I'm sorry about that. And sometimes I get distracted because they are very, very loud. My scent of the day is YSL Le Homme Ultime on the right arm and Leo de Issy on the left. And I got a 2 ml sample, and boy, is it nice and interesting. I have tried the regular Issey Miyake, but I don't know if I've tried the Eau de Issy. I should give it another try. I tried the original. I tried the Major. I forget how you're supposed to say it. I tried the Major, and there's like I forget if it's an extreme or an intense. It's got some kind of a stronger version of the Major, a Super Major or something. And I tried that one as well, and I don't know. The Issey Miyakes I've tried didn't work for me, but I should try the Noir Argent, and I should try the Pulse of the Night, and I should try some of these. They're supposedly good. Polaris does look interesting, but so far I haven't been in love with them. I thought Astral Blue was a solid fragrance. I just wasn't in love with it, and it was my dad's fragrance, but it was actually really well composed, and it's one of the only fragrances I've ever smelled that really captured a really deep, dark blue kind of feel. It didn't smell like shampoo. It didn't smell like a light, easygoing blue fragrance. It actually felt like very deep, like 1,000 leagues under the sea, like deep, deep in the ocean, like a dark ocean fragrance. And but it didn't change a lot. I was hoping for something to poke its head out, like a little bit of patchouli or some interesting something to change it up a little bit. But even though it is well done, but I just want something more to it. Let's see here. Scent of the day is why I saw. Oh, read that. Thanks, Benjamin. Absolutely, Centurion. Absolutely. I got your back, my friend. Schism says, Ben, it sounds like you have pterodactyls, dinosaurs. Yes, they are very old bugs, and these are bugs. Google them sometime. They're very noisy and they're quite annoying, and they're just something you have to deal with if you live in the South. Some years are worse than others. This year actually was pretty good. Last year was even worse. So, and supposedly, depending on where you live in the world, there's like a 7 years where on the seventh year, they're the worst. So they come in cycles sometimes. But it depends on your weather. It's warm enough down here near the Gulf Coast, near the ocean around here, that it's so warm that we have them every single year. So some places only have them every 7 years or so, but we have them all every single year, all year long, pretty much. So it's a struggle. It's these annoying bugs. Let's see here. I tested Papillon Tobacco Rose today on Folks, and wow, this is a beautiful deep rose, and why it's a wow for me. I'll have to try that Centurion. I have not dived into the House of Papillon yet. I have tried Anubis. I do want to try some of their other fragrances. I've tried Dryad, and I think I've tried another one, but I can't remember what it is right now. But Anubis was solid. I really do like the fragrance. I've been tempted to buy it a number of times, and I thought Dryad was really good. And I have recommended Dryad to people who like really dark, leafy, green fragrances. It's one of the best out there. So from what I've smelled, if I smell two or three of their fragrances and every one is very well composed and smells of really good quality, I'm definitely I can believe it. I can believe it, Centurion, that it's a solid fragrance. Papillon is from what I can tell, is a very solid niche house. Very well done. And I'll have to get my nose on that one though. Zara, warm black. Do you mean rich, warm, addictive? I don't know anything about a warm black. Just came out and it's a Tobacco Vanille. Oh, it's a Tobacco Vanille dupe. $14. I've been tempted to blind buy some Zaras. I don't know. I have such a big collection and I can be so picky. I don't know. I've almost bought some of them before, but then I've held back. Maybe I should buy some of them for the experience and the fun. For me personally, I mean, getting a good affordable fragrance is great, but I have such a big collection and I have so many things to wear. I kind of worry about buying, having things around. And I guess I could just give it away if I didn't like it. But I do need to get some of those, and I should review them for you guys too. But by golly, that does sound nice. I'm interested to see. I haven't seen anybody talk about warm black yet. So, Maud says, sorry to chime in once again. I'm smelling Le Eau d'Issy for the very first time, and whoa. No problem, Maud. If you're excited about a fragrance, tell us all about it. These lives are for us to all connect with each other, have some friendship, talk about our sense of the day. So if you feel like you love something and you want to talk, tell us all about it. Feel free to, Maud. I mean, no shame. Absolutely. We're all fragrance enthusiasts here. Issey Miyake never disappoints. Yeah, they're pretty solid from what I hear. I just need to find one that I like. And I do remember, I think I smelled the Parfum, or the Noir Parfum or something one time, and I remember kind of liking it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to blind buy it or not. Maybe I should have, but I've never blind bought it. So Vince Saucedo, is that how you say it? I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. Vincent, from all the 2020 recent fall releases, which ones are you most excited to try? I need to be more up to date. Tell me about some of them. Refresh my memory. What are some of the new 2020 fall releases? I personally, I'm always exploring things at my own pace. I'm always smelling things according to, I guess, my own wants and my own needs. I really want to get Blackmail from Kerosene and Black Hashish from Art Olfacto. Those are two fragrances that are on my immediate buy list. I do like to try and look forward to new releases. I'll refresh my memory. Are there some new designer fragrances maybe that people are really excited about? You gotta let me know. Hey there, Kitty Karina. Thank you for the $1. I do appreciate it. Do you have anything to say? But thank you for the love and the support. I do appreciate that. I don't ask for super chats, but it takes a while to get to me because I have to wait 6 months or closer to a year, to get, I don't know if y'all have dealt with AdSense, ad revenue through Google, but you have to save up to essentially get $100 until you get a payout, until they send you anything. So if I ever get $100, it takes me a very, very long time. But I do appreciate that. I'm just joking because I have to stare at it for a little while. I had somebody, I think, send like $10 on Subscribestar, and you have to get $50 on there. And I've never been able to cash it out. I've just had $10 sitting there, and I don't know if I'll ever get that money, which is kind of funny. Maybe I should donate to myself and then get my own money back and get the $10. I know that's really ridiculous to do, but yeah, honestly, I was probably a bit misguided in my choice to wear Roadster at the club at 22, but old, but yeah, rocked it and sweaty. No, no, great. If you had fun and you liked it, let's break down the barriers. If you like a fragrance, and if it works for you, I mean, wear whatever the heck you want. And I don't think it smells vintage. I still think it is modern enough, but I do think it comes off as a little bit more refined and classy. And I do think that's really nice that you went to a club smelling like that instead of a lot of these really sweet fragrances and maybe some of these ambery fragrances and Tonka and Ambroxan. You did something different, and that probably made you stand out. And it is a little bit of a unique scent too, so it probably made you really stand out in a good way. So that's really nice. See, no, but not misguided. Don't. I'm not criticizing you at all, my friend. Absolutely not. What's your best classy fragrance? I don't know. That's really hard to describe. But my most glorious, my fanciest fragrances is probably, in my opinion, Jubilation 25. Some people probably feel like it's not clean enough. They would probably would rather have something like Reflection Man, or maybe Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male. I think it's super fancy and super classy. I think it smells super elegant. So that would probably be my fanciest. Even though it's not very expensive, again, Roadster's fantastic for that, and there is Lalique Pour Homme. Lalique Pour Homme also does a wonderful job at a very good price of being a very, very classy, refined fragrance. So I do like that kind of feeling, but I don't have a lot of fragrances in my collection like that. I do want to get Cure Celeste from the house of Ex Nihilo, but that's a very expensive juice. It's like a $300 fragrance, so I don't know if I'll do that anytime soon. And I don't have to have it. It's more of a lighter fragrance. It's more of an inoffensive fragrance, but certainly very well done and very fancy. But yeah, I feel like, again, with my 80 or so fragrances, I feel like I have fragrances for every situation. And, you know, maybe I'll find something good. So do you like cats or dogs? I like both. Both are great. I tend to like dogs a little bit more than cats. Cats are hit or miss for me. Sometimes cats can be fantastic. Sometimes they can have, I don't know, to put it nicely, they can have some real bad attitudes. So it really depends, I guess. Just like any animal, it depends, I guess, on the owner, how they were raised and how they were treated. But also, another side of it is cats are kind of their own, a little bit more rebellious, a little bit more individualistic. And I've met some great cats. Some cats can be great, but I tend to be a little bit more of a dog person. But I don't know. At this stage in my life, in the future, with me wanting to travel, and I have plans to travel, and with my, making some businesses and all that, I don't know if I'll own a pet anytime soon. But if I am able to get, settled enough and have everything, situated, maybe one of these days, if I, own a nice property, I would like to have what are they called? Like a Chesapeake Bay Terrier, which is kind of like the grandfather, or like the older dog. I don't even know how many of them are out there in the world, but they're a little bit rare. But they're a hunting dog, and they're kind of like a predecessor, or a little bit of an ancestor to the Labradors. And I would really like, I would like a dog that I could certainly hunt with, because that's something I'm passionate about. So I met strange sounding birds. Oh, that bird! I don't know what that bird was. I haven't heard that bird around here. I'm usually familiar with a lot of the birds around here, but I don't remember hearing that bird. All the time. There's, Carolina chickadees, I think as they call them, and there's a lot of things around here. There's lots of mockingbirds, and there's a number of different ones. Whippoorwills. Whippoorwills are funny. Whippoorwills. I think that's what you call them. So, anyways, newcomer question. If I love the original Tom Ford for Men, 2007, what smells like it? Longevity and projection is bad, I've read. Are you talking about the Tom Ford Pour Homme that has a lot of ginger? That's like more of a gingery citrus fragrance. If that's the one you're talking about, there's not a lot that smells like it. There's some amber fragrances that come somewhat similar to it. Maybe Ferrari Uomo will come somewhat similar. There's not a lot that's exactly similar. I'm trying to think of something. Baldus Serini Ombre might it will feel a little bit familiar, but that's more of an amber fragrance. It's very versatile and a hidden gem. Very good value for the money. 30 or 40 odd US dollars. Um, if you find it at the right places for Ombre Baldus Serini. But there's not a lot that smells like that. I haven't smelled Ginger Lover yet by Azaro. That one could smell somewhat similar to it. But I would maybe go and see if you can maybe find something on Fragrantica that's similar. If you go and find that fragrance, you'll see suggested fragrances, and people will suggest some scents or some fragrances that are, they think it's similar to it. Or you can actually search the note of like ginger and look for it. It's not the same. It is quite a different fragrance, but if you do like maybe more classically inclined fragrances, you might like J'ai Peur by Boucheron, which, again, if you're gentlemen watching my channel, I know that a lot of gentlemen do watch my channel. One of the best spicy classic fragrances out there for men. Highly underrated fragrance, not nearly talked about enough. And it's also very affordable as well. You can get it for about 30 US dollars. 30, 35 US dollars. You should kind of be the most you should pay, even for the EDT or the EDP. You can find them sometimes as, affordable as about $20 from some sellers. So, really, really good juice. You might be interested in that. It does, again, smell a little bit more classic, mature, gentlemanly. But J'ai Peur by Boucheron, definitely good stuff. Let's see here. Vincent says, I'm excited to try Byron's Mula Rouge Extreme Black Dragon. I think those Rouge. I haven't tried Rouge Extreme. Those are three different fragrances, aren't they? I think that they are three different ones. Mula is really nice. The Chronic's really nice. I really want to try their Bourbon Oud. Their fragrances are really nice. I usually don't go for lighter scents. Or fragrances that come off a little bit more, laid back and playful. But I really do appreciate the House of Byron. I really don't go for Byredo. I really don't go for Gallivant for me personally, but I really do like the House of Byron, and I do really want to try that Black Dragon. It does look really nice. Mula is nice, and Pirates is nice, and the Chronic is nice. I don't know if I would buy them, but if I had a lady around, and I would even though it's very unisex, I'm not trying to discourage y'all from wearing it. I would love, a confident, maybe, a lady that has a lot of character and personality to wear Chronic. It would be a great one. I think it'd be very charming. I don't really know anything about the Rouge Extreme, though. Ron says, I bought a markdown Acqua di Parma Colonia Essenza at TJ Maxx yesterday and really like it. I consider it classy. Acqua di Parmas do have a classy edge. I do agree. Acqua di Parmas do have a refined, classic vibe about them. And certainly you could dress that fragrance up a little bit. I have the Intensa. I love the Intensa from the Colonia line the best. But all of them, if you are a gentleman, I would sample and try all of them to see which one works best for you. Maybe you might like the Colonia leather. There's like an oud version. There's a Clubhouse one that's supposed to be more green. The Intensa, which I like, is a little bit more dark, a little bit more woody, and it's definitely more spicy. And I really like that. The Absoluto, I think it's called, is more citrusy. The regular Colonia is definitely charming. Nothing's wrong with it, but it speaks to how good the original was. That there's lots of flankers of it. It's a success, and a lot of gentlemen really respect that fragrance, and really like that fragrance DNA. So, Acqua di Parma is solid stuff, and for the price, especially when you can get them, for $60, and some people I've seen get. I don't know how they do it. If they hide the fragrance and it gets marked down on clearance with the red label at Ross or TJ Maxx, but I've seen people get some of those for like $20, which is outrageous. If if you can get an Acqua di Parma, a 3.4 ounce bottle for like $60, that's a pretty amazing value as is, and pretty good fragrances. They don't last the longest, but they do last fairly well, and they're really nice. So. See, how was it? Yes, let us know. Let us know how it was. After tax, like 63 something. It was 100 mil marked for 79, down to 59. That's a great value. That's absolutely great. I got my Aqua Department Intensa, a tester without the original bottle. It did come with the cap, but I got it for like 63, and I forget I forget if that was before or after tax. So absolutely, if you're funny enough, we got it kind of like a similar price. You probably got yours a little bit cheaper, but that's a really good price. That's really nice. I just saw some mention Issies and picked up low Issy Intense at TJ Maxx recently. Of all I've smelled, it's my favorite. Low Issy Intense, huh? I'll have to give it a try. I've tried a few of them in the past. All I remember is that I got in my head that I'm not crazy about yuzu. Yuzu is not my favorite note. If y'all don't know what yuzu is, it's kind of like very fascinating, more of like almost like an Asian citrus, and it definitely has its own unique qualities about it. But I would describe it as a little bit more in the family of lemon, but it has its own unique qualities. So don't think it's just a lemon. But I don't know. For me personally, I can like lemon, but I don't like lemon to be in the forefront of a fragrance. I like it to add to a composition. A lot of people really like lemon in a fragrance, and I respect that. But if I get a big punch of lemon, maybe it's just because I've used so many chemicals and cleaners and cleaning products that had lots of lemon in them. Maybe that's just a fragrance memory in my mind. I don't know why. Some people really like the smell of lemon in the opening of a fragrance. I would personally rather have orange or have like a mix of different fruits, and especially grapefruit. Grapefruit is probably the easiest one to like for me, and that's probably really funny to y'all. A lot of people out there probably think it's really funny that I struggle more with lemon than tobacco. If a fragrance has tobacco in it, I'm probably gonna like that fragrance a lot more with tobacco than I am if it's a lemon-dominated fragrance, which is probably really funny to some people. But we're all different. We're certainly all different people. So um, I'm always getting excited for the upcoming seasons. Azurius Rouge is high on my priority list for fall and winter. Azurius Rouge by Givenchy. I'm happy that you're going to get into that fragrance. If you like Cartier's Roadster, you're going to like that fragrance. You're going to like Azurius Rouge by Givenchy. I'm pretty darn sure. And I'm not trying to hype it up, just for the sake of hyping it up. I have no affiliation with anybody regarding that fragrance. But I found that fragrance. I think it's truly special. I think it's one of the best classy gentleman fragrances out there. And almost nobody talks about it. And it's a great value for the money. You can get it for like, 40, maybe a little bit cheaper US dollars. And it's a solid fragrance. It's great. And I don't know why people don't talk about it. It's outstanding juice. Really good stuff. So happy to see that we're going to have somebody else get into that fragrance. Let's see here. To me, I don't care for the original myself. The Intense is more incense smelling to me and way different from the original. Ron's talking about... Are you talking about the Colonia? Oh, no, you're talking about the Issey Miyake. Are you talking about the Issey Miyakes? The Intense is more incense smelling to me, way different. Okay. I'll have to see what the Intense is all about. I'll have to see if I like that one. And see what's going on in the Intense. I certainly have not tried that one. At least I don't remember trying it. So, fascinating. I would like to have a fragrance from every major designer house and every major niche house. I guess that's the little bit of that collector side coming out of me. If somebody talks about a big house, I would like to have one fragrance of them that I really like. So I'm still on my search for Issey Miyake that I like. So we'll have to see. I have to see which one I go for. I've almost bought the I forget how you're supposed to say it. It's like the Le Bleu d'Issey, like the O version. It has a really long name. Supposedly it's a mint fragrance. It's kind of aquatic, and it often sells out. I don't know if it's discontinued. Sometimes it's hard to find, but you still can find it for a fairly good price. I almost bought a 50 ml for about $20. I hear lots of people like that fragrance. So many people liked it, so I was worried if it was going to be too mass appealing or just not be that original. Maybe I should have just bought it, but I I've seen it a couple times and I've almost bought it a couple times, but I just haven't done it. So we'll have to see. There's lots of things I want to try, but well, I want to try stronger with you, but I don't want to have to blind buy it. I want to sample it before I take a risk. Anyways, we'll see about all that. We'll certainly see. Anyways, guys, and ladies and gents, any more questions? Any more feelings? Uh, any more questions for me? We are getting closer to the fall. Still the summer. We still have really hot days here. I'll try to showcase and do a couple summer-related videos here soon. But I think that y'all have your minds on the fall already. I certainly am getting my mind already on the fall. So I think that I'm going to start trying, if I do put my content on a slant, season-wise, I think I'm going to start, slanting it a little bit towards the fall. So I've tried Issy's Pulse of the Night. It's not bad, very mysterious smelling. I do like mysterious vibes. I really do like that. So that one does look good to me. I'd like to try those. I would like to try it. I'll have to get into it. I almost bought it off somebody off eBay when it was a really new release. And I would have been one of the first people, maybe the first person to buy it. I meant to review it on here on YouTube, but I don't know. I almost did it, and then I was trying to talk the guy down to get it a little bit cheaper, but it was still a new release, and he probably sprayed it very few sprays. He didn't really want to sell it any cheaper, and somebody else bought it before I did, so... and I haven't been able to find it for a good price, a really good price since, so... first word that comes to mind when you hear Ultramall. First word, party. It's a decent fragrance. To me, it does have that quality about it that almost makes it smell like it should be in a candle. I've heard a few fragrance reviewers mentioning that. There are some of these fragrances that I don't know why they're composed that way. I don't know what aroma chemical they're using it to give it that quality. But Ultramall has that it's less of a smell and more of how the fragrance feels. Ultramall has a feeling to it where it feels like it should be in a candle. But I'm not crazy about Ultramall. You'll probably know that. It's a fine fragrance. I know a lot of people like it. More respect and power to you. But I find it a little bit linear. I feel like it doesn't have a lot of richness. And I feel like it needs a little bit of something to give it a little bit more weight and a little bit more depth into its heart. It's like it's missing one accord, or it's missing a little bit of a component. Maybe it needs a little bit of something just hidden up in there. Maybe they could, add some red berries, or maybe sneak a little bit of tobacco in there, or maybe sneak something in there like a little bit of dry cocoa. I don't know. To me, it felt like it needed to have a little bit of something in the background to give it a little bit of oomph. So, but it's a strong projector already, but I just felt like it didn't have this, the heart. It needed more of a mid. So, let me see here. What summer scents have you been using? Pete asks. I love my Swimming in La Paris by Dolce & Gabbana. I have my Versace Pour Homme. I have a number. I've done some videos about my summer scents. I don't know if y'all have seen my top 10 list, but I have what's some other ones? My Terre d'Hermes Eau Trace Fresh serves me very well for the summer. What else do I wear in the summer? I'm trying to remember. Sometimes I'll sneak a wearing of 10 a.m. Flirt by Kieran NYC. Some Fragranza has a fragrance called Rivolare, which I really do like. I've been wearing Roadster a little bit. I've been sneaking some wears of Roadster. What else do I have? That works. Again, I have a hard time with citrus, so lighter, fresher scents at least. What else do I have? I'm trying to remember. Sometimes I do wish I have a studio so I could just pick things off the shelf and show y'all, I'm sitting out here without my fragrances. Trying to remember. I don't know, but I do know that for a summer fragrance, I know that I want to get the Meringue, or how are you supposed to say it, from Profumum Aroma. I know that's definitely on my buy list. Once I get that fragrance, I don't know if I'll want another summer fragrance. That one's supposed to have a meringue, a vanilla type of quality with a lot of lemon. Really good. Oh, I forgot about La Leva by Marametta. Outstanding fragrance from a newer company. Marametta's Le Leva is a leather, like a lemon and vanilla fragrance, and it's quite a strong performer, and really good stuff. I've been wearing that one as well. I quite enjoy it for sure. Let's see here. I got a sample and sprayed it on my hand, and good lord, it didn't go away for 14 hours. Yeah, Ultramall has good performance. Ultramall is not a slouch. I have seen some people complain, but I think that some people go nosmic. I think that some people must be putting 10 sprays of it on their chest, and they can't smell it after 3 hours or 4 hours because they're nose blind. But that fragrance has performance to it, no doubt about it. So Ultramall is a powder balm. The mall is much more wearable. Uh, I could agree with that. Ultramall is more of a party fragrance. I don't think it's appropriate for a lot of situations. I don't think it would be good for the office. I don't think it'd be good for formal situations. Unless you really want to beg for attention, I wouldn't wear it for a lot of everyday situations. To me, it's more of a not going out on the town kind of scent. If you're going to a pub or a bar or a party, especially if you're a younger guy, that's what that fragrance smells like. I do agree that, maybe a little bit more for a gentleman. It's not a fragrance that we'd probably go for. So, but it's not a bad scent. I don't want to discourage y'all from Ultramall, but Stronger with You is very sweet, but I like it a lot. Definitely a date fragrance like the one, but mixed with Armani Code Profumo. I do want to try that fragrance. It does look nice. I just don't know if I want to blind buy into it. It's one of those fragrances I feel like I could end up not liking it. I'm kind of suspicious, but I do want to try it. So hopefully I'll be able to get to try it in the future. I don't know if I'll be crazy about it. Profumo is good, but I don't own it. I don't know. When I come across a designer fragrance, I usually really love it. Like Ferragamo Uomo, the tiramisu fragrance, the coffee tiramisu. I really like that stuff. But I don't connect always. I mean, even though if I recommend or speak highly of them, it doesn't mean that I might want to buy it for myself. Let's see here. You can't fix stupid, says Ben. What scents are you looking forward to wearing in the cooler seasons? Really good question. I have my Jubilation 25 by Amouage. I usually don't wear that in the summer because it's just far too potent. Sometimes I don't feel like it's that, I know that it's strong and I know that it's noticeable, but sometimes I underestimate how strong that fragrance is, even if I only put on like 1 or 2 sprays. I've been out there in the summer heat before with 1 or 2 sprays of Amouage Jubilation, and it was blowing people away, at least my bottle. So I'm looking forward to wearing that one. I have my Carlin Men of Blame, which is a niche fragrance that almost nobody talks about. It's a cumin heavy fragrance, but it's very well done. It's like a leathery cumin fragrance. I really like it. It's very dark and mysterious, and really, really nice. I have my Mugler Per Tonka. Most of my collection that I really adore, the fragrances I usually prefer are the darker scents. I have lots of stuff I'm looking forward to. Sacred by the House of Louis Cardon is a fragrance that I really like, and I think that's one of the best values on the market. If you look at the right places, you can get it for $30, but sometimes anywhere from $30 to $50. It's a beautiful gourmand amber fragrance, not to be underestimated. Very, very good quality, very, very well done fragrance for the money. And I don't know, I'm looking forward to a lot of them, guys. My Leather Oud by Floris, y'all know I cherish that one. I'm gonna get I'm watching something and probably gonna end up buying for a really good price a fragrance from Elie Saab. I don't know if I'm going to like the House of Elie Saab. We'll have to see if I like them or not. Again, I'm taking risk. Again, I wish I lived near a boutique so I could get an introduction to these houses and these fragrances. If I blind buy a fragrance, and to me it is fairly expensive on my budget, like Vicanto, I'm sure that there's other good fragrances from Vicanto, but I bought one of them, and at least as far as I can tell, it's one of the more easier ones to wear. And if I didn't like it, and I don't know if I want to have to blind buy another bottle. So I don't know if I'll be buying a Vicanto, another one anytime soon. So hopefully I will like the Elisab though. I have high expectations. So any patchouli recommendations? I have Prada Amber Intense, and I like Mugler style patchouli smelled. Kat Vaughn's Center, and came close to buying, but wasn't sure I could pull it. I think it's called Intoxicated, which is sometimes compared to Amen by Killian. I think that one has a lot of patchouli to it. There's Psychedelic by Javoy. I think that's what it's called. Let's see. There's quite a few other ones. I really like Patchouli Noir from the house of Il Profumo. That's more of a chocolatey patchouli. Very, very nice. I have a vintage bottle which it's much heavier on the patchouli, but the new modern versions actually would be great for a date night. It's really, really good stuff. What else? There's quite a few good patchoulis. Again, the Tom Ford DNAs. There's a lot of them that have a little bit of that dark, mysterious patchouli to them. They're expensive for what they are, but if you like patchouli, you're probably, if you haven't dived into Tom Ford, you might become a Tom Ford head. There are people out there. I think the prices of a lot of Tom Fords are too much, especially for their longevity. And I don't know. I think their bottles are nice, but I don't think they're anything overtly fancy. So for me, Tom Fords, especially retail-wise at least, are just a no-go. I do like Italian Cypress. I do really want a bottle of Italian Cypress. And I would not mind at all having a bottle of Oud Wood and Tuscan Leather, maybe even Ombre Leather. I like all of those. But, what was another one? Costa Azura is really nice, but the longevity is just so poor. I could never justify buying Costa Azura. Sorry. Some crazy noises over there. It's getting darker. We've been on here for an hour. Probably need to wrap it up too. Let's see here. I've heard Molinard has a good patchouli frag, but can't remember the name. Molinard has a regular patchouli, and they have a patchouli vanilla, or a patchouli vanilla. You can find the patchouli vanilla, which is the one, at least back in the day when I heard hype about Molinard, that's the one people were mostly talking about, the patchouli vanilla. And you can find it in the purple bottle for about $55 odd online. I haven't tried it yet. I've heard really good things, so if you really like patchouli, everybody I hear about talking about it says it's underrated. Blind buy it, great fragrance, do it. So if you're looking to blind buy, the Molinard Patchouli Vanille might be a good one to go for. I'm trying to think of some other patchoulis. I do feel like, I don't know if you've tried the Bentley, what's it called? It's not really, I think it's Bentley Man Intense. I can't even remember right now, but it's the one that's really popular with the sage. It does have a more of that golden type of, almost resinous type of patchouli to it. It is a really good value for the 30 or 35 odd US dollars you can get that one for. Smells pretty luxurious, a little bit more masculine. It's not, and it did have a lot of hype, but I still feel like it's a little bit more of a, I don't know, of a scent that not everybody might like. So I like to find a good clone of Mugler Ultra Zest. I don't know of one. If any of y'all know of a good clone of Ultra Zest, let us know. I haven't smelled a lot of fragrances that smell like that, like an orange creamsicle, like a creamy orange dessert. It's not the same. It's not the same at all. But there is a fragrance called Versailles by the House of Posey, and they're not sponsoring me. Trust me, guys. But I do think it's a really good fragrance, and it smells more like a golden orange cake. Instead of creaminess, you have like more of a cake quality to it, and it's a really good if for gourmand lovers out there. So my wife loves the Saab line. They smell terrific on her skin and seem very high quality. I don't have any for myself, but I assume the quality would be there for men's. Exactly. A lot of them do lean unisex or even more feminine. They do have their higher inline, and that's one of the ones I'm going to buy into. I do want it to be a surprise. I do want to do an unboxing of that one when I get it. I'm gonna fight for it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win the bid. So yeah, we'll look forward to that one, guys. and I do hope that it's outstanding. And funny enough, it's supposed to have some patchouli in it, so patchouli is a great note. I do think it's underutilized and under talked about. Tobacco is another great note that's not talked about enough in perfumery. They can be bold. They can have big personalities. Maybe the people who really just want really mass appealing fragrances, maybe patchouli and things like tobaccos and maybe things like coffees are a little bit scary, but they can be very well done. They can add a lot of personality and can do great things to fragrances. So if you don't have a leather fragrance or patchouli or a coffee fragrance, or maybe you're ready to dive into and maybe try an oud, there's lots of great scents out there. I don't know where all of y'all are at in your collection. Take things at your own pace. Take things at your own, with your own needs. But definitely, I always encourage people to have a very diverse, a collection with a lot of variety, because you want different fragrances for different moods and emotions and feelings. There's nothing wrong with having 10, 20 blue fragrances, especially when you start out. But once you start getting your own taste and you know your own personality, I think it's great that you find some, fragrances with a little bit more, perhaps creativity, individuality, and something that, maybe something that could even come off signature scent wise, if that's your thing, that people can recognize you for, because it's a little bit more distinguished. So there's a lot of good different types of scents out there, and it's fascinating. If you get really deep into fragrances, like y'all probably are, you almost, like myself, sometimes I want to sit down and be like, I want an ambergris dominated fragrance. Like, you want every note in the library, but then you have to hold yourself back. At least I do, because I could think of like all the notes, like, I want a magnolia dominated scent that I find is masculine. I want to find one, and I want an ambergris dominated scent. I don't have any pure ambergris attars or stuff like that, and et cetera, et cetera. There's so much out there. But I'll get back to y'all on that Elisab. I'll get back to y'all for sure. So, anyways, guys, the conversation's drying up. I do appreciate y'all spending your time with me, having an amazing fragrance chat. Y'all were so friendly tonight. It was so good. I do appreciate the camaraderie, the friendship, and having a good time just chatting this Saturday night away. I hope that you had learned something new. I hope that you had a good time hanging out with me. I hope that you consider me a friend. I certainly consider y'all friends. And thank y'all again for having a good time with me. I'm going to wrap this live up, unless y'all have any quick questions or anything really quick you want to talk about. I wish y'all the very best. Take it easy. Cook some amazing food with your family. If you can, I know that people, are trying to be careful. Go outside and maybe, make sure to get some vitamin D, get some sunlight on you, and that's going to be really good for you. And take care of yourselves, my friends. Live the good life. And let's see here. Take care. Ben Schism says yes, Schism, and it's called patchouli. Ron, cheers, mate. Okay, I'll see you, Rich Mitch. I'll see you, Schism. You can't fix stupid. Ron Nelson, Mod, Pete, Dean. Let me see if I can't. I don't know who's still here, but anybody who's still here, good night to you. I wish you the very best, Kitty. Again, Pete and Centurion, if you're still here at Cloud-Based Scents. Anyways, everybody, have a good night. Stay well, stay safe again. Wear what you love. Find those fragrances you really love, and enjoy listening. Yes, it was a good time. And I'm sure that there probably will be another live of another great fragrance reviewer. So if you want a bigger chat, I don't have anybody I can turn you over to, almost like Twitch. Like, I can't, switch you over and flood. That'd be funny if we all became fragrance Twitch streamers. I don't think that would work. I've thought about that, but I wish I could recommend you to somebody else who is doing a live right now. Anyways, I'll go. Ron, Get Really Patchouli by Boise 1920. That's a really good one. Very well done fragrance, and certainly is definitely for the people who love patchouli. There's Patchouli Patch. You're getting my mind rolling again. I think it's by Les Artisans Parfumeurs. I think that's Patchouli Patch. At least they have a patchouli or two. Again, I think there's a number of them. Definitely go on Fragrantica and explore. But maybe you'll find one. There's some good patchoulis out there. And and I wish I had a very special niche one to share with y'all, but I don't own any of them yet. So, anyways, guys, have a great night. I'll see you soon. Have a good one, everybody. Be safe, be well again, and again, I hope that you benefited. So stay safe, absolutely, and live well. Enjoy life, and I'll see y'all soon. Have a good one, and check out my Instagram too if you want to see more of me. Throughout the week. Again, I put out like 3 posts a day. So hey, if you want to see more of what you're seeing, check out my Instagram. I'll see everybody. Have a good night. Stay well, live well. And again,